our Krishna Katha, the very famous one word which I always say, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tatataha chakudeham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. So Krishna himself is telling in Bhagavad Gita that listening to Krishna Katha is so auspicious, it is so glorious that anybody who listens, they don't come back into this material world of suffering, because Krishna says this world is dukkalayam, ashashvatam. It is a temporary world and it's a world of suffering. And Krishna doesn't want us to come back into this material world. So like a loving father, he's given both. He's given us Bhagavad Gita and he's given Bhagavatam as well. So that we read the Bhagavatam, Krishna book, and we follow the instructions of Krishna, and so that we follow the guide and just go back to Krishna, so that we don't come back again here into this material world. And even if we come back by chance, even after following Krishna consciousness, for some reason, Krishna says the very next life is going to be definitely as a human being. You will be born again as a human being, and we will be born in such a beautiful family where we can continue practicing Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is so kind that in case if we haven't finished our Krishna consciousness in this life, he gives another opportunity to be born in another family, another beautiful family where we can continue practicing Krishna consciousness. So the very fact that all of us, we are able to come into Sadhu Sangha and be able to share Krishna consciousness is definitely because we must have left off somewhere in our previous life, and we are continuing in this life. But fortunately, we have Prabhupada who's given us everything, 360-degree worship. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, deity worship, mantra meditation, bhakti yoga, right? Everything. So nicely is given us, and Kirtan, Harinam Sankirtan. So everything is in. So we had to take maximum advantage of this. I remember sometimes I just go when some gurus come, and when I see so many different sampradayas, and when I see so many different, lineage of gurus that have come, I feel so fortunate when I see all this. And because here is one platform of Krishna consciousness where we can practice, all of us everybody can utilize their strengths. They can utilize their talent to please Krishna in some way or the other. If you're not good at singing, if you're good at cooking, you can be a nice cook for Krishna consciousness. Like that, all of us can use, this is a second chance for all of us to practice doing whatever it takes to please Krishna. So on that note, let's get started off. Any would like to do the Mangalacharan? Any volunteers? Hemaji, would you be okay to do?
Mataji is not well, Prabhuji.
Oh, Hemaji. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, Hemaji. Take care, and still you joined. Oh, that's really nice. Anyone else?
Dennis Nesta Mataji can.
Who's that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I will do it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, definitely. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Children are here and there, Prabhuji.
Oh, yeah, beautiful.
Mangalacharan means Om Agyanatimirandasya, isn't it, Prabhuji?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Jagat Krishna Prabhupada ki jai. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilantam Yana Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manovistham Sthapinayana Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Sopada Antikam Bandeham Shri Guru Yuktapada Kamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavascha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahaganam Sahagana Raghunatha Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Anvitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Prananami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuva Evascha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedantanam Samnamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Pascheta Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare,
Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
I can see the enthusiasm, Mataji, which is, I think, it is so nice because in Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada used to always say one important ingredient in Krishna Bhakti is enthusiasm. So I can sense that. So thank you so much for the Mangalacharan for starting off. Hare Krishna Nishaji, thank you for joining us.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, definitely, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for that. Anybody would like to do Hare Krishna ji, Kirtan or Jai Radha Madhava? Rishma ji, would you like to do? Just asking only if you're okay. Rishma ji or Hemant Prabhu, in case if you're okay for Hare Krishna ji or
I don't know the words, but I'm happy to join along. Sorry.
No problem at all, Prabhuji. Anyone else you just want to ask, like whether if anybody would like to do the Hare Krishna Kirtan?
We can,
I'm not going to ask.
Nisha Mataji, we shall request
Okay.
Nisha Mataji to sing.
Nishaji, would you be fine to do the Hare Krishna one?
Prabhuji, I can join along with someone, as I think I mentioned earlier. My voice is very bad, but happy to join if
Okay.
someone takes a lead.
No
Why don't you, Prabhuji, we would love to sing from you. So why don't...
Okay, Mataji, I'll do that.
I think someone messaged, someone wants to do, if I'm not wrong. Ayusha want to do.
Yeah. Who's Ayusha wants to do? Okay. Dinaji, Ayusha is
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My daughter wants to do it. If okay to do that. Otherwise, Prabhuji, you carry on. We will love to hear your voice also, Prabhuji.
No, Ayusha, yeah, that's fine, Mataji. Yeah, Ayusha can do. Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I shall carry on.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I will sing with you.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Ballava Giravardhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari
Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradhari
Yashodanandana Vajara Jananjana
Yashodanandana Brajara Jaranjana
Yashodanandana Brajara Jananjana
Yashodanandana Brajara Jaranjana
Yamunatira Balachari
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Yamunatira Balachari
Yamuna Tira Banachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe.
Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Shri Radhe.
Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman.
Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman.
Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai.
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Srila Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Gurudev Jaya Srila Gurudev.
Nita Gaura Hari Bol Nita Gaura Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you all devotees.
Hare, that was so
Hare Krishna.
wonderful.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Aisha ji, like so beautifully you sang. Actually, it is so joyful.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhuji.
that is so beautiful. I mean, I really enjoyed listening to your beautiful, the way you sang the kirtan, and it is so lovely. I'm sure Radha Gokulananda must be so pleased to hear you sing. And I always see that, you know, our Sanatan Dharma, you're the future of our Sanatan Dharma. You are the future of Krishna consciousness. And if you are able to sing, if you're singing with so much of love at this age, I don't know, you can be like a great devotee. And sometimes it's because of our children also, like, you know, our lives will be glorified. We get an opportunity to serve Krishna. That was really so wonderful, Aisha. Like, you should definitely sing more in our sanghas. It's so joyful and so nicely you carried from Jai Radha Madhava to Hare Krishna and from there to glorifying Prabhupada. There can't be anything that can please Prabhupada the most. So thank you so much for that. Wonderful. Very, very happy. Vijay Krishna Das.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for that. Please keep coming whenever you can. I know it's quite a challenge in the weekday, but definitely you're most welcome and happy to listen to Kirtan again and again.
Sure, Prabhuji. I will do my best to bring them, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
And
Krishna.
I need to learn also, Prabhuji, to be honest.
No,
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Prabhuji.
everything, like, you know, the most important thing is, like, all of us, we sing, but the most important, the bottom line is singing with that bhava, you know, like with that eagerness, with that love for Krishna. That is something which is showing up in the Kirtan, so which is the most beautiful ingredient. it's like the sugar in all our dishes. So it makes it sweet. Um, Hare Krishna, Vijay, the Krishna Das Di. Thank you for joining us.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you for having me. Hare Krishna. You're
Hare
most
Krishna.
kind.
Hare Krishna. So very nice. Thank you. It's always feels so joyful when our devotees join and we can all, engage in our bhakti life together. That's when it's more relishing. I just want to go to our Krishna Katha. You came on time, Prabhuji, because we are just going to be starting off with our Krishna Katha. I just want to read out a beautiful thing which Prabhupada has mentioned on Facebook about KrishnaBook. He says, all these activities, if we simply study and hear the Krishna Samparshan, then we are liberated. Without any doubt, our liberation is guaranteed simply by hearing about Krishna. These questions, just like our Krishna consciousness movement, is the same. It is simply questioning about Krishna and hearing the answer. It is Loka Mangalam. Anywhere this vibration will go, there will always be auspiciousness. Loka Mangalam. Krishna Samparsha Yenatma Suprasadita. Another feature of Krishna is all attractive. Therefore, talks about him is also all attractive. In our Krishna book, there's so many topics about Krishna. Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam, Bhagavad Gita 4.9, about his birth, about his transcendental from real father's house to another foster father's house. Then the attack by the demons upon Krishna, Kamsa, all these activities. If we simply study and hear the Krishna Samparshana, then we are liberated. Without any doubt, our liberation is guaranteed simply by hearing about Krishna. Isn't it so beautiful that Prabhupada is kind of explaining so nicely that this Krishna Katha is so auspicious. It is so much of Mangalam, right? And it is so Mangalam that it's Prabhupada himself is saying that by just listening to the Krishna Katha, that we will get liberated. People talk about mukti. They try to go to different pilgrimages places, like, the Kumbh Mela also became very popular in India. People going there. Mainly, if you ask them why are you going, they say, like, we want mukti. But actually here, Prabhupada is saying that the actual mukti is just by listening to Krishna Katha, which is so glorious, isn't it? So anything, whether it is chanting or whether it is reading Bhagavatam, everything is Kirtana. I heard this beautiful one, which I want to start off with before we start talk about it. Talk about the chanting of the Krishna consciousness, which is pulled out from Skanda Purana. Madhura Madaram Metan Mangalam Mangalanam Sakala Nigame Bala Satpalam Chit Swarupam Sakridapi Parigitam Shraddaya Helayava Brugavare Naramatram Tarayat Krishna Nama. It is mentioned in the Skanda Purana that Madhura Madhuram, it is the sweetest. Whether it is listening to Krishna Katha or listening to the chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, is Madhura Madhuram. It is the sweetest of all the sweetest. Etan Mangala Mangalanam. It is the most auspicious of all the auspicious names. So this chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything is Kirtan. Whether we are reading the Bhagavatam, Krishna book, or whether we are actually chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or actually doing the Kirtan, everything is Kirtanam. It is sweetest of all the sweetest. It is the most auspicious of all the auspicious things. This Srimad Bhagavatam, chanting of the holy name, they are not like ordinary material. This chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is not an ordinary transcendent material sound vibration. It is completely spiritual, without any touch of matter. And it is the fruit of the entire Vedic literature, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And Sakridapi Parigitam, it means that even if you're chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, either with faith or even in a mockingly way, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra will deliver and give complete liberation to the person who's standing. So imagine, sometimes when you go to the Hare Krishna when we're doing for Harinam, Sankirtan on London streets, when we are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we are going and doing, we are nicely singing on the roads of London and we are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sometimes many people, when we are passing by the pubs, when they're passing by the bars and all that, they don't know what this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but in a mockingly way, sometimes they just repeat after, say Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, because they're enjoying the dance, because they're really surprised that normally you go to the pubs or bar for pleasure, sense gratification, and they're surprised to see that these people on the road who are singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Harinama Sankirtan, they seem to be more joyful than us, and they're not taking any intoxication, but they are more happy than the people who are taking intoxication. What is the reason? And just seeing the people doing Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they also start dancing Hare Krishna. So it is mentioned that Sakridapi Parigetam Shraddaya Helayava. Even if you by mockingly way, even if you're not sincere and you don't know what the mantra is, even if you're just repeating them after that, even those people can be liberated out of bondage in this material world. So you can see what if he's sincerely chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, what if he is sincerely reading the Krishna Katha, how more auspicious can it be, right? So with that thing in mind, and also just to keep in mind that we're getting Krishna consciousness, the countdown starts. We are on the 31st of July right today, and we got just another 15 days before we dive into Krishna Janmashtami, which is happening on the 16th and the 17th, and I just can't wait to welcome the occasion of Krishna's appearance on the Janmashtami. And we all covered all this, the advent of Lord Krishna, the birth of Lord Krishna. I think maybe next week, as we're getting closer, then maybe we should just speak a few things about that, just to reflect and contemplate on that, and just to get our mind prepared for Krishna consciousness, right? How Mother Yashoda and Krishna, they're all beautiful, and we have been so fortunate that we covered all these chapters in our Sangha, prayers by Kurura, Krishna entering Mathura, and we've seen all that. And you see from all the Leelas, Krishna is constantly reciprocating the love of his devotees. If you see the entire Krishna Katha, it is also always about reciprocating the love of his devotees, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanardaya sambhavami. Krishna mainly comes for two reasons: for the love of his devotees and also to put an end to all the demoniac people. But throughout the Krishna Katha, what we can see is all the beautiful Leelas of Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam. That means everything that Krishna does is Leela. When we do something in this material world, it's all karma. But when Krishna does something, it is Leela. So we have to dive into with that mood that, whatever Krishna is doing, it's always so auspicious and so beautiful. So we have actually come here. We covered the story of King Nriga, whom you see he's become a lizard, and we've seen how Krishna, just by offering his left hand, he just pulled Nriga out and asked Krishna how he has become. And we learned the lesson from the story of King Nriga, that always, which is very important, that when we are doing the charity also, it should be in the mode of goodness. And also very, very important is to not to displease the Brahmanas, because that can incur so much of problems and inauspiciousness and curses that has happened, where even a demigod could become like a lizard, right? So we have heard about the moral of the story that that to be very careful and offer all our respects to the Brahmanas. And even in case if the Brahmanas are angry with us or for any reason, anything, we have to learn to tolerate them. Because one of the important things that Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita is Matra Sparsastu Kaunteya Shitosna Sukha Dukkada Agama Payino Nitya Stam Titiksa Bharata. Because in this material world, it is very easy to get provocated, right? It's very easy because this world is a world of duality. Dukkalaya Mashashvitam. And it's a world of duality. There's always going to be happiness. There's always going to be sadness. And Krishna is saying, learn to accept this world as it is and learn to tolerate them, Arjuna. This happiness and distress, they are just like the summer and winter season, Arjuna. They come and go, they come and go, they come and go. Even if you don't want also, there'll be some good news coming. Even if you don't want also, there's some bad news coming. But the best way we can ride over this tide of ups and downs is by sticking to Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness helps us to overcome these tribulations in our life by going ups and downs in our lives. If we stick strongly to the lotus feet of Krishna, we will be able to handle all kind of situations. And we can see from devotees' life that we can see two important things we can see from Bhakta Prahlad's life when they see the lives of Pandavas. One thing is, as long as we come into the material world, it is guaranteed that there will be some problems in everybody. The very fact that we come into this material world is because of some karmic reaction that we are having from previous life. So there is going to be some auspicious things, some challenges, some pain, like how Bhakta Prahlad also, he was a nice boy, but still he had to encounter so many challenges with his own father. Pandavas were beautiful people, but even they had to encounter so many problems. So like that, even in Ramayana also we've seen that how Lord Ram himself was faced so many challenges. So we can see that as long as we come into this material world, there are going to be problems. This is the first thing we have to learn to accept, that this is a material world and it is going to have problems. But the second most important thing is to always remember Avasya Rakshabe Krishna Viswasa Palana. That means that I have the faith in Krishna, that my Krishna will always protect me. Because why? Because Krishna himself is assuring Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashyati. He himself tells Arjuna, you're my most favorite devotee, and you go and tell the whole world that a devotee of Krishna will never perish because I will always protect my devotee. So we always should have these two things in mind. One, as long as come into the material world, there are going to be problems, just like how the Pandavas and Prahlad Maharaj faced. Second thing, for sure that there will be problems, but the end result is that if we stick to Krishna consciousness, Krishna is promised that he will protect us. And I can tell you from my personal life, just happening so many challenges that I had faced, that Krishna, whatever happens in thing, most important thing to remember in Krishna consciousness, nothing is final. It is Krishna's this thing which is going to be final. He is the one who's going to put a final into all our problems. So that is something which we have to remember. He will fight our battles, because if you remember the whole of Bhagavad Gita, after listening to the whole of Bhagavad Gita, what is finally Sanjaya's conclusion? Sanjaya's final conclusion after listening to the whole Bhagavad Gita is, Yatra Yogeshwara Krishna, Yatra Pardo Dhanurdaraha, Tatra Shri Vijayobhuti Dhruvanitir Matirmama. His final conclusion after listening to the whole Bhagavad Gita, Sanjaya is telling, wherever there is Bhagavan Sri Krishna and wherever there is a devotee of Krishna, there is going to be finally a victory, and there is going to be auspiciousness, there is going to be opulence. So we never, these ups and downs are going to come, but finally we will be the winner, because it is going to be Krishna who's going to be protect us. Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake ke. If Krishna wants to kill, nobody can protect. But if Krishna wants to protect us, nobody can kill. So we have to keep that in mind. So having said that, with a big starting, let's start off with a beautiful new chapter. We covered the story of King Mriga. Now we're going to start with a beautiful another chapter, 65. And the beauty of Krishna consciousness and KrishnaBook is that every chapter unfolds a different Leela altogether, a different Leela. And so now we're going to start off with another Leela, and we want all our devotees to participate and just read through so that we can all feel together the divine nectar of Krishna Katha, right? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jai Om Krishna. Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityananda. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanta Rangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranama Mehari. So we're going to start off with this Lord Brahma visit Vrindavan. I would like to ask if anybody would like to read the first paragraph, first one.
Yeah, I can go through, Prabhuji.
Yes, yeah, sure, Prabhuji. Go ahead.
Lord Balarama became very anxious to see his father and mother in Vrindavana. Therefore, with great enthusiasm, he started on a chariot for Vrindavana. The inhabitants of Vrindavana had been anxious to see Krishna and Balarama for a very long time. When Lord Balarama returned to Vrindavana, all the cowherd boys and the gopis had grown up, but still on his arrival they all embraced him, and Balarama embraced them in reciprocation. After this, he came before Maharaja Nanda and Yashoda and offered his respectful obeisances. In response, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaja offered their blessings unto him. They addressed him as Jagadishwara, or the Lord of the universe, who maintains everyone. The reason for this was that Krishna and Balarama maintain all living entities, and yet Nanda and Yashoda were put into such difficulties on account of their absence. Feeling like this, they embraced Balarama and sitting him on their laps began their perpetual crying, wetting Balarama with their tears. Lord Balarama then offered his respectful obeisances to the elderly cowherd men and accepted the obeisances of the younger cowherd men. Thus, according to their different ages and relationships, Lord Balarama exchanged brief feelings of friendship with them. He shook hands with those who are his equals in age and friendship, and with loud laughing embraced each one of them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. So we are starting off with another beautiful Leela. Here we're talking about Lord Balaram as well. As we always know, Balaram also is always assisting Krishna in the Leelas. And we see all this in so many beautiful Leelas that Krishna is always there with Balaram. We've seen earlier also when Krishna went to bring Rukmini Devi. And when Krishna was taking Rukmini Devi in the chariot, it was Balaram was also who went along with Krishna. And he was the one who was fighting against the opponents as well. So we can see in many, many Leelas, Lord Balaram is also expanding. And we also know that Balaram is an expansion of Krishna. So from the left, we have Radharani. Krishna expands on the left from Radharani, and from the right again from Lord Balaram. So Balaram is the first expansion of Krishna, always assisting. And when you see Narayan, you can feel that Lord Balaram takes the form of Seshanag as well. So like that, Balaram has always been with Krishna, and we've seen how Krishna is nicely serving Lord Balaram as well. And he's always there in all the Leelas together. But here we can see that in this particular chapter, we are talking about this beautiful relationship that Lord Krishna and Balaram had with the people of Vrindavan, right? Brajavasis. They are always enjoying, and and we had the Jagannath Rath Yatra. I'm sure many of you would have had a chance to even pull the chariot of Lord Balaram as well. It's very important to get the blessings of Lord Balaram as well. Balaram represents the spiritual strength for us, and it's very important, isn't it, to have the spiritual strength, because in the beginning, that's why it's very important to have sadhu sangha, because when we are in the company of in the association of devotees, we get a lot of spiritual strength, right? Because we are along with them, so we trying to sing along with them. I remember a few years back, that's how I started my journey as well, being in sadhu sangha and trying to sing one or two bhajans and just read a bit of Bhagavad Gita. So that way, when we are in the group satsang, we get a lot of spiritual strength. But as we keep moving on in our bhakti life, it's very important to have spiritual strength. In fact, one of the things I was just remembering, that in Arjuna asked Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, right? He says, Krishna, many times we do not want to do a certain thing, but somehow it looks as if somebody is forcing us. We go and do some kind of a karmic thing which we don't want to do. Even if we don't want to do certain things, we all can experience that in our life, right? Many times we do certain things and later we regret, why did I do this? Why am I just, as if like something is forcing us to do, And Arjuna is asking the same thing to Krishna. Krishna, why is it that we'll end up doing certain things which as if like some force is pushing us into that? And that's when Krishna says, Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna Samudbhava, Mahashano Mahapapma Videna Mahivairinam. Arjuna, it is only lust, Arjuna, which is born when you're in contact with the mode of passion. So sometimes because of this lust that's appearing in our life, because in everybody, you have certain degree of Sattva Guna, Rajoguna, and Tamoguna, right? And sometimes the Sattva Guna is more, sometimes the Rajoguna is more, and sometimes the Tamoguna is more. So Krishna says that, all these three gunas are there inside us, and they're always fighting with each other. But Krishna consciousness is a moment for us to help us to rise above even the Sattva Guna, to Suddha Sattva Guna, the mode of pure goodness, not just goodness, but mode of pure goodness. And why am I telling this? It's because when Krishna tells Arjuna that, Arjuna, why we are being sometimes in life, why do we do certain things as if somebody is forcing us to do something, is because of lust, is because of a certain degree of passion, or what you call as Rajoguna, which is more prominent in us, which is forcing us to do certain karmic things. And because of which it lands up into anger, and it lands up into all kind of problems. So what is the solution for that? Evam buddhva param buddhya samstabatmamatma jahi satru mahabaho kamarupa durashadam. Krishna says you can conquer this enemy known as lust, or you can conquer this mode of passion, Arjuna, by cultivating spiritual strength. By spiritual strength, you can conquer this lust which is there in all of us. In all of us, we have Rajoguna, Tamoguna, and Sattva-guna. So Krishna says, because of lust only we do all these things, and that can be countered by spiritual strength. But where do we get this spiritual strength? So Lord Balaram represents the spiritual strength. So we always have to take to the feet of Lord Balaram. We have to pray to Lord Balaram also to give us the spiritual strength. It is very important. Otherwise, we get we get swayed away in this material world, because this material world is dukkhalayam. It always lands up giving into all kind of a problem. Sometimes we think we are the controllers, but Krishna is mentioning that you're not the controllers. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara virmutatma kartahamiti manyate. The jivatma, under the influence of false ego, we think that we are the doers of all the activities. But in actuality, everything is being done by the three modes of the material nature. This is what Krishna is saying. So many times we keep blaming ourselves. Why is this happening to me? It's all my fault. Why am I suffering like this? Why am I this thing? It's not, because our ego makes us think that I am the reason for everything. If there is something great happens, we think like, okay, it's all my greatness. And if things don't go right in our life, we start blaming ourselves. Why am I doing this? Why is it happening to me only? But we don't realize, but through this sloka in Bhagavad Gita, we can understand that everything is being done by the three modes, these gunas, this material energy is the one which is actually doing us, making us dance like puppets. So we are like puppets in the hands of the material energy, which is making us like dance. So that's why you see, right? Sometimes people, we have great news and we have great things happening, and another day we find like something going terribly wrong. Why? Because this material energy is constantly working on all of us and putting us in different kind of situations, right? But we have to keep in mind, Daivihayesha gunamayi mama maya duratya mamevaya prapadyanti mayam etam tarati. So this is because even though these three gunas are constantly keeping us like puppet, they are in the hands of Krishna. So if we surrender to Krishna, this Krishna himself says this divine energy of these three gunas is very difficult to overcome. But Arjuna, anybody who's surrendering to Krishna, who's fallen into the lotus feet of Krishna, who daily chanting the Krishna's name, they can overcome all these three gunas over a period of time. So we can't expect instant results, but if we take to the lotus feet of Krishna, we will be able to cross over all these hurdles. But here, I'm just trying to bring this to relation to Lord Balaram, that Lord Balaram is the one who gives us the spiritual strength. So when we pray, and in Vrindavan also we have the Krishna Balaram temple as well. So we should always keep in mind about the divine pastimes of Krishna, and also pray to Balaram to give us the spiritual strength to override all kind of tribulations which are happening in our life. So here we can see that Lord Balaram, because in this material world, why do we get so anxious to see our father and mother? When we listen to Krishna Katha, we feel like we can relate to everything, isn't it? Even the Lord, when he came in the human form, he's also going through the same kind of thing, anxiety to see his parents. And because we are part and parcel of Krishna, and because we are part and parcel of Lord Balaram, even we are also feeling the same. Because why? We are all part and parcel of the Krishna. Krishna is, or Balaram is called as Vibhu Atma, and we are called as Anu Atma, right? We are only Anu Atma. We are a tiny Atma. We are only conscious about this body. But Vibhu Atma means they're conscious Krishna is sitting in everybody's heart. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hrideshi Originatistri. He's sitting in everyone's heart. So he knows everyone's life and what we are going through and things like that. So you can see that Lord Balaram was so anxious to see his father and mother. We also know that, from our previous Leelas, that, they were having a beautiful time in Vrindavan, spending time with the gopis and spending time with Nanda Maharaj. And we see like how beautifully Lord Krishna and Balaram having beautiful pastimes with the cowherd boys and spending time over there. But, over a period of time, because when Krishna comes and Balaram come into this material world, they come with a mission. They come with a mission and to execute, to protect all the divine people and also to punish them. So they're going on a mission. They cannot be in Vrindavan all the time because they have to go and execute the Leela. And we've seen earlier that Krishna himself, when the kingdom of Mathura was constantly being attacked, Krishna himself took all the people from Mathura and created a city called Dwarka and transferred all of them into Dwarka. So now we know that Krishna and Balaram are there in Dwarka. So Lord Balaram felt very anxious to see his father and mother in Vrindavan. So with great anxious, with enthusiasm, he went out there. So we can obviously expect, like, when somebody is going after a long time to his hometown, I'm sure all of us can relate to this, that when, let's say, we're all staying in UK, but someday when we go back to India, I remember whenever I go back to India, you see like all of our friends and family, they just come to the airport to receive us, and there's so much of jubilation. There's so much of emotional moments, parents hugging us. And so this is why we experience all this, because we are part and parcel of the Supreme. That's why, so the same qualities are there in us also. So we can see the inhabitants of Vrindavan when they were seeing, because it's been a very long time that Krishna and Balaram have left Vrindavan and gone to Dwaraka. And now when they're coming back, obviously we can see that all the cowherd boys and gopis and all, they must have grown up and they were so embracing, Lord Balaram with so much of love. And even Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji was offering so much of obeisances. The beauty about Krishna Katha is sometimes when I tell in the temple, like, even today, if you go to Vrindavan, we can see all those places, they're very much there. And so beautiful to understand that Krishna himself comes in the form of a devotee called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he sends all these Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, he sends all the Goswamis to Vrindavan and go and unearth all the places wherever Krishna has done the Leelas. How beautiful, isn't it? Krishna himself coming in the form of a devotee and restoring all these places of, Radha Kund, Sham Kund, Nanda Bhavan and all that. So even now we can just, now that we are listening to Krishna Katha, someday when we go to Vrindavan, I'm sure like many of you devotees would have gone, but even if you haven't gone, when we go back again, after listening to Krishna Katha, we can bring to mind, isn't it? Oh my God, this is what we read in Krishna Katha, and this we are seeing them in the right place. Even today, we can go and see the place where Mother Yashoda was making butter for Krishna. Those places are still there. So we have to just bring to our mind by reading Krishna Katha and just visualize how beautiful it must have been. So we can see that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji were offering the blessings and addressing him as Jagadeshwara, and Lord of the universe. We're all fascinated by the fictional stories of Lord of the Rings and all that. But the beauty of Sanatana Dharma is there are some real stories, real-time stories of Jagadeshwara. And I was just listening to see a lot of comments coming up in the social media about Narasimha Avatar. There's, I believe, I'm not sure if anyone have been following up, but I believe there's a movie that has been an animation movie which is made on Narasimha Dev. And I believe it is doing very well in India. So I'm sure that would be really a great thing, because we need to come back. There should be a renaissance of Sanatan Dharma, that all the Krishna Bhaktas, all the devotees of Sanatan Dharma, by listening to these beautiful stories of Krishna and watching these movies like Narasimha Avatar, they can once again visualize how beautiful our Sanatan Dharma is. We don't need the Lord of the Rings. We have the Lord of the universe himself, right? Who's maintaining all of it. The reason for this, Krishna and Balaram always maintain. Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshya arjuna tishtati. Our mind, our intelligence, everything is coming from Krishna, isn't it? Sarvasya chaham shridi sannevisto matasmitir jnanam apohnanim. I'm Arjuna, I am the one seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge. Everything he's the maintainer, he's the controller. So we will get peace of mind when we understand that Krishna and Balaram, they are the final controllers. Remember, whatever tribulations we have, challenges in our life, we always should have that firm faith that these are just temporary. The final one who's a controller is Krishna. Without his permission, nothing, not even a blade of grass will move. So here you can see that, when the absence of Krishna, because when Krishna and Balaram was there, anything would happen, they would turn to Krishna and Balaram for protection. Remember, like even when Nanda Maharaj also was attacked by a demon, immediately he called for Krishna, and Krishna came into action and protected Nanda Maharaj. So like that, there were so many tribulations, and even just the absence of Krishna and Balaram, they were put into so much of this difficulty was just fighting their absence, So here we can see how lovingly, even though they have no more children, they just gone to, to Dwaraka, they got married and everything, but still we can see that, Balaram sitting on the laps and perpetually, they were crying, and with Balaram in the tears. So this is like real emotions which you can see from our Krishna Katha, like how beautiful it must have been at that point of time, and offering their obeisances and all the cowherd boys coming. And you can imagine, right? Especially, I remember when we were small kids, whenever we for summer vacation, we used to go to our villages of our relatives, and whenever we used to go to those villages, everybody would come to just see us, because they never seen people from the city, because they're so cut off. The people in the village are so cut off from the city life. So when somebody is coming from the cities, they're so excited to see who are these people. They look so different. They're coming in a car because they never seen a car. So like that, you can imagine at that point of time, Krishna and Balaram, they moved to Dwaraka, and now they're coming back to this beautiful village of Brajavasis. So they were not able to hold their tears, and everybody were coming to see them and offer the obeisances. And Lord Balaram also exchanged the feelings of friendship. So we can see that they were so so much of love they had for Krishna and Balaram that there was an exchange of love and between both Nanda Maharaj as well as by all the cowherd boys and people who came to embrace them. Can I ask anyone if they can read the second paragraph?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I can read, Prabhuji.
Okay, Gayatri, sure.
Okay, Prabhuji. After being received by the cowherd men and boys, the gopis and King Nanda and Yashoda, Lord Balarama, sat down feeling satisfied, and they all surrounded him. First, Lord Balarama inquired from them about their welfare, and then, since they had not seen him for such a long time, they began to ask him different questions. The inhabitants of Vrindavana had sacrificed everything for Krishna, simply being captivated by the lotus eyes of the Lord. Because of their great desire to love Krishna, they never desired anything like elevation to the heavenly planets or merging into the effulgence of Brahman to become one with the absolute truth. They were not even interested in enjoying a life of opulence, but were satisfied in living a simple life in the village of cowherds. They were always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna and did not desire any personal benefits. And they were all so much in love with him that in his absence, their voices faltered when they began to inquire from Balaramji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, so much. So joyful to read, isn't it? So here we can see that Lord Balaram's beautiful Leela unfolding, where Balaram comes back from Dwaraka to Vrindavan and just exchanging this beautiful love that he had towards the people of Brajavasis, and how nicely he's been received by the cowherd men and gopis. And obviously, we all know about how much the gopis had love for Krishna and Balaram and how much they were always missing them. So we can see that this is the highest level of bhakti. So many times because before we had this Krishna Katha, we would only listen to, stories coming from our grandparents and things like that about Krishna and Balaram and all that. But here we can, through the Krishna Katha, through Prabhupada's explanation, we can understand that this was the highest form of love, is the love that the gopis and the people of Brajavasis had towards Krishna and Balaram. They had so much of love that, but they were not, because, when we go to see Krishna and Balaram, there are four different kind of devotees. Krishna explains that there are four kind of pious people. Anybody who's going to Krishna means there's a very pious people, right? So that's very important to understand, whether they're going for whatever reason. If they're going to Krishna, they're very pious people. Chaturbida bhajate mam jana sukritan arjuna artha jignasi arthati jnanicha bharata sarva. Krishna says there are four kind of pious people who go to Krishna. The first kind of people are the people who are going for, material. They will just want material opulences. There's some kind of a difficulty. There are some kind of problems. They want to have some solution for their problems, because this material world is like that, isn't it? Padam padam vipadam. Every step there is some kind of a danger. So there is some kind of a challenges always in life, and there is nothing wrong in going to Krishna for asking for help. So the first form of devotees are who are going for some solution to the material problems. And the second kind of devotees are the devotees who are going for, because they want to have some Lakshmi, they want to be rich, they want to have a better flat, they want a better house and things like that, for Lakshmi, because Lakshmi Devi is always serving Narayana, isn't it? And the original form of Narayana is Krishna. So, and the third kind of a devotee, they're inquisitive, right? They just see some movie like Kalki, or they see some movie and then they try to hear something, and they just inquisitive to know about Krishna. And the fourth kind of a devotee are devotees who just only go for the pleasure of Krishna. They only want to serve Krishna. They just only want to love Krishna. They want to see the beautiful form of Krishna. So in that fourth category of pure devotion is where we can find the people of Vrindavan. Because the people of Vrindavan, they were not expecting anything at all. They are not going for asking for Krishna to remove all of their problems. They are not going to the gopis and the people of Brajavasi. They are not going there for asking for Lakshmi, for the Krishna. They were very happy with the life as a cowherd boys and girls. They're very happy with the simple life in the village. right? And they just don't want any elevation, because many times people go for asking, like, I want mukti, I want this, I want to go to the higher planets. People, follow the regulations as per the Vedas, so that they can go to the heavenly planets like Indra, and they can enjoy the godly delights. But through Krishna, we can understand that even if you go to the spiritual planet, you go to the higher planets, where of the rishis and all that, as per the Vedas, still, even if you go to the spiritual planets, after enjoying for some time, Krishna himself says that after enjoying, let's say, even if you go to Indra Loka, and if you go to that planet and you want to enjoy with Indra, and you want to enjoy the delights and all that, after all your merits are done, you still have to come back into this material world. So there is no escaping from that. But here, so many kind of a different people, if you really interview the people who are coming to the mandir randomly and ask, why are you going to Krishna, you would get different answers. Somebody saying, like, I'm in problems, I just need some help from Krishna. Somebody says that, I'm in very financial difficulty, I'm going for the Krishna. And you could find somebody saying that, you find many visitors, right, in manner. Many visitors come, and they're very inquisitive. They just want to know about what is this Krishna con. In fact, when I was taking some visitors, they were asking question, why do you put the tilak? Excuse me, they couldn't hold back. There was one English devotee, she came and asked me, like, can you please explain why did you put that U on the head? And so like that, everybody is very keen. Some people out of curiosity and inquisitiveness, but the four kind of devotees, they just want to come and see Krishna. They want to just go and sing for Krishna. They just want to play kirtan for Krishna. They just want to go and serve Krishna. That's all they want. And they get tears. Sometimes we hear devotees saying that, when I see Krishna, I just get tears in my eyes. I heard them saying that also personally. And I say, like, you are so blessed, because that is the highest form of Krishna. If you're able to see Krishna and tears are rolling down, you are in the mode of pure Suddha Sattva Guna, like you are amazing, like, So here we can find that the gopis had that kind of a love, right? And the love in the mode of pure goodness. They were only absorbed in thinking of Krishna. And why this Krishna Katha is so important for us is to reflect and contemplate on the mood of the gopis, to understand that this is the kind of a love that we need to adopt. Not that we are there, but we can see the people of Brajavasis, they were away from all the opulences. In fact, the simpler the life that you have, the more you can progress in spiritual life. Because if you're getting into more desires, more opulences and all these things will entangle you more and more, that we will not be able to practice Krishna consciousness at all. In fact, Krishna himself says, Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrita vyetasa vyavasayatmika buddhi samavdana vidiyate. Krishna says, to those people whose mind is completely filled with material opulence and sense enjoyment, I want to enjoy this, I want to eat this thing, I want to go and build this, I want to go in material opulences, sense enjoyment. For those kind of devotees whose mind is totally filled with all these material desires, the longing for devotional service to the Lord will not arise. So we always have to understand that why sometimes we have to analyze ourselves. Why am I not having so much of bhakti towards Krishna? Because our mind is so much contaminated with so many thoughts of so many things that we want to achieve in this material world, so many things that we want to, we are contaminated with sense enjoyment and material. So the more we reduce our, our longing for these material desires, the more we will be able to progress in our Krishna consciousness. To keep life so simple, we can see that here Krishna himself personally writes a letter to the gopis, right? He asks Uddhava to give the letter to the gopis. And he tells the gopis, I do not know how to repay you, because all of you gopis have so much of love. I don't know how to repay you. So how is it that they have to so much? They were simple Brajavasis. They were simple people from the village, but they had so much of love for Krishna, which is what is very, very important. And this is what Lord Balaram also you can say was experiencing from the people of Rajavasi. They were not interested in anything. They were just missing Krishna and Balaram so much. They were so only absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna and without any personal benefit. So we can see through this beautiful Krishna Katha that this is how we have to cultivate our Krishna consciousness. We should be absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna and not desire for any personal benefit, but just to love Krishna for the sake of loving Krishna, just because it's our dharma. So can I ask anyone if they can do the next one, the next paragraph? Anyone would like to read the next one?
Do you want me to do it, Prabhu?
Yeah, sorry, Prabhu, go please.
Okay. First, Nanda Maharaja and Jashomayi inquired, My dear Balarama, Are our friends like Vasudeva and others in the family doing well? Now you and Krishna are grown up, married men with children. In the happiness of family life, do you sometimes remember your poor father and mother, Nanda Maharaja and Jashoda Devi? It is very good news that the most sinful King Kamsa has been killed by you, and that our friends like Vasudeva and the others who have been harassed have now been relieved. It is also very good news that you and Krishna defeated Jarasandha and Kalayavana, who is now dead, and that you are now living in a fortified residence in Dwaraka. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this beautiful thing, you can see Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji asking Balaram. We can see that, if you reflect back, some time back, when Uddhava was also sent by Krishna to Vrindavan, and Uddhava went over there. And, we find that even earlier also when Akrura also went also, we can find that, Nanda Maharaj and Balarama, they were asking like, how is what they were doing and how is everybody doing over there. So it's a very natural thing when somebody going after a long time. So here we can see that they're addressing Balarama directly, that how is Vasudeva doing. And we know that, Vasudeva and they were all living in Mathura. So they were asking, how are they doing? And now that Krishna and Balaram, we seen from the Leela, right? Just a chapter before, we seen Krishna going with the entire family of Dwaraka going for the picnic. So now they're grown up. Krishna and Balaram are grown up. They're having a lot of children. But again, just like how Nanda Maharaj was asking earlier also to Akrura and Uddhava, similarly here again, they're asking like, in this family, in the family of your family life, do you remember your father and mother, so it's a very natural thing, isn't it? Because they have so many beautiful memories of growing up with Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maharaj. So obviously, Nanda Maharaj is trying to inquire, like, are they being just completely busy in their own married life? Because marriage life, sometimes it's like that, isn't it? You're taking care of your children, you're doing so many things. You can see, I'm sure like every married person can relate to that they become so busy in their life, taking care of the children, that they won't have time for other things, right? So similarly here, they're trying to inquire, like, do you even remember sometimes? And similarly, they used to ask earlier also when Akrura and Uddhava came also. And it was nice. And also the King Kamsa, we know that he's been killed by Krishna and Balaram. Kamsa was like such a big pain. And he was always thinking of killing Krishna, isn't it? When finally Krishna went to Mathura and went and killed Kamsa. It was so easy, even though Kamsa came with so many levels, by putting elephants, by putting wrestlers, and everybody to go and kill Krishna. But Krishna, he was no match for Krishna. Krishna literally killed all of them, pounced on Krishna and Kamsa, and he just killed him without any effort. So they were happy. Nanda Maharaj was very happy that, that Kamsa has been killed, because he's the one who has taken over the Yadu dynasty, Bhoja dynasty, and all that. And he imprisoned his own father, Ugrasena. Kamsa was so demoniac that he went and imprisoned his own father, Ugrasena. And Krishna had to literally kill Kamsa and bring Ugrasena from the jail, right? So we remember all that. And it's good news that Krishna defeated Jarasandha also and Kalayavana also. So we can see that. So the parents, Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mataji, they were just reflecting on the beautiful leelas that Krishna and Balaram had, and how they went and killed Kamsa. But again, we know that Krishna came mainly for that purpose, to put an end to all the demoniac. And many people do not know that it's Bhumi Devi, the Mother Earth, who goes to Brahma crying, and she goes in the form of a cow, and praying to she with tears in her eyes. She's praying to Brahma, please kindly help put an end to all these demoniac people. And that's why Krishna and Balaram had come, and now they went and defeated Jarasandha, they went and killed Kamsa and things like that, and now they're living in Dwaraka as well. So I just want to see if we just crossed 9 p.m. Is that okay if we want to just park this? Would you want to just read next paragraph? Hare Krishna, everyone. Amaga Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Would you like to add anything, Prabhuji? Shall we just pause over here?
Yeah, it looks it's a big paragraph, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Let's do it for the next Thursday, Prabhuji. Any reflections, any comments, any corrections, or anyone? Hare Krishna Paritesh Prabhu, Anil Prabhu, thank you for joining us. Anything that's come to mind, or anything you want to share, or any corrections at all from anyone?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Go on, Gayatri Mataji, please.
No, Prabhuji. It was a nice class, Prabhuji, as always. Um, I was just wondering, Prabhuji, that how come Krishna, Yashoda Mai, and Nanda Maharaj so much attached to Krishna all the time, but he never came back to see them. Like that makes me wonder why he's he's the big like loving person, right? So how come he did not come to see them once at least? That's what I was just wondering, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's a nice thought, isn't it? Because when we hear these leelas, we see like, how come, like so many things, questions come to our mind. I mean, it's certain because when Krishna comes, he comes on a mission. There are certain things that he has to, and he's constantly from one point of life to another point of life. You can see that the Vrindavan Leela, and then the Mathura Leela, and then again Dwarka Leela, we can see, and then the Pandavas in Hastinapur. So from time to time, Krishna has been going on a mission, after a certain period of time, and then just moved on from there, and then moved on from there. Yeah, it's very interesting to understand, how Krishna is reciprocating to the love. But here we can find that the highest form of love is love in the mood of separation, whether it's the gopis or the love that the Brajavasis had. They had so much of love for Krishna. In fact, we'll be covering that in the next this thing also, how the gopis are. This is another form of love, which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came, he was exhibiting that Viparanamba Seva, everything in the mode of separation, that love, that's the highest form of love. Through the Leelas, I think Krishna is just showing us that the highest form of love is love in the mode of separation, and how much we are engaged. And Krishna, through the letter that he sends to the gopis also, he says that even though I'm physically far away from there, I'm always with you. So when we have that bhava towards Krishna, Krishna is always with us, because he's there in the spiritual world as well as he's everywhere. So yeah, definitely, that's another point to reflect on. Why now that Balarama has come, we'll see maybe in the future chapters if there is anything that Krishna does to reciprocate. But yeah, it's a good thought, Gayatri ji. Amoga Prabhuji, would you like to add anything to that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji, it is a very beautiful question, and also the similar kind of thing. Gopis directly asked Krishna from the that Rasalila when he disappeared, and then when he returned back, they asked, "Why did you disappear from all of us?" And then the Lord says, "Mai bhaktirhi bhutanam amritatvaya kalpate dischya yadasin masneho bhavatinam cha madapanah." Bhavatinam cha madapanah. So to awaken more love towards Krishna. So he disappeared among from them. And similarly in the life of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. So later on he describes when they met in the Kurukshetra. So at that time, so during those past times, Yashoda and Krishna's discussions, that I'm going to appear as Lord Balaji or Srinivasa Venkateshwara. And there, Yashoda Mata is going to take birth as Vakula Mata. And then the conversation was, hmm, I have not seen a single one marriage to you, one marriage of yours. You have married 16,108 wives. That is one, but we see that past time here in the Lord Balaji temple. Every day, Nitya Kalyanam Pachatoranam. So every day there is a marriage Kalyanam, Srinivas Kalyanam. Every day that festival goes on. And Vakula Mata's temple, always her eyesight directly falling onto the kitchen, whether they're cooking nice prasadam, laddus, and vadas to the Lord. So again, the connecting from Dwarka pastimes to Kali Yuga is so beautiful.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. It's so beautiful, isn't it? I mean, it's just bringing to mind, like, when Muchakonda also, he was asking Krishna when, was it Muchakonda? Actually, he was asking, he woke up and he was asking, like, who are you? Are you some demigod or something like that? And Krishna reciprocates, saying that, you do not know, but in your previous life, you were a great devotee of mine. And that's the reason why Krishna gives his forearm Narayana from discussion, revelation. So Krishna is always reciprocating. So as Prabhuji has mentioned, even though Mother Yashoda has missed seeing that, Krishna is, I remember Amaga Prabhuji, like, this particular Leela also, that Krishna promises that, when he comes as Lord Nitish, that he'll be able to see. So somewhere or other, when he comes in a mission, he does certain thing, but he promises his devotee that, yeah, if not now, maybe next, he'll definitely fulfill the wishes. So he's fulfilling that wishes right now in Tirupati. By always Nitya Kalyanam, always, the marriage and all this is always happening over there. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was so beautiful. Very nice. Gayatri
Yes, Prabhuji.
that
Beautifully explained.
very nice.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. That's what
Yes.
we need, devotee association, because definitely each of us, we are just thinking, like, or could be the reason, and that's so nicely put.
Mhm.
That's something which we, from those leelas, we can understand that Krishna never disappoints. He says that, okay, this is not, I'm not doing now because I come on this mission. You definitely, in the next, this thing you will see. Just like how the rishis, when they were seeing Lord Ram, they were like so intoxicated. They just wanted to be in this association. And Lord Ram said, not in this leela, but when he comes as Krishna, they will be fulfilled. And so again, they just get born as the princes and the different princes, and they had the association of Krishna. Similarly, I heard like Surpanaka also, she wants to be with Ram, which didn't happen. But again, when she is born again as Kabza in Kubuja in Krishna Leela, Krishna reciprocates and goes to her house. So we can see it. And some point of time, the devotees, whenever they have this longing, the Krishna is always fulfilling the wishes at some point of time. So that's so beautiful. Any other realizations, points, or anything else you want to share? Anyone?
We have got Vijay Krishna Das Prabhuji.
Yes,
I think
Vijay
Prabhuji can
Krishna,
share.
yes, Prabhuji, anything would you like to add? Any corrections, anything?
I have a question about prasada.
About prasada?
May I?
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Yes. Well, I want to know, Prabhu, because this is the second time I am exchanging with you as the speaker of the class, and I as a student. And I want to know what is your perspective about how important prasada is in the life of a devotee. That would be my question.
Prasadam, you're talking about Krishna Prasadam, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and you mentioned that the forthcoming Krishna Janmashtami, in a certain way, it's all about prasada. So I just want to hear you speaking about the importance of prasada in relation to the process of devotional service.
Yes, definitely, Prabhuji. So yeah, I think the prasadam is so important in Krishna consciousness, because many times Prabhupada would say, like, if somebody is coming and if they don't understand the philosophy also, that is fine, because it takes time to understand our philosophy. It is not so easy for a person who's coming for the first time. But even if they take Krishna prasadam, which has been blessed by Krishna and having it, that purifies their consciousness. That kind of like helps us in taking that first step towards Krishna consciousness. So having the Krishna Prasadam, they may not understand the philosophy, but Prabhupada would always insist, like, for his devotees, that if anybody who's been coming, doesn't matter if they don't understand the philosophy, but always serve them Krishna Prasadam, because this kind of purifies their mind, because what you eat is, your mind is what you eat. So if you are able to have the Krishna Prasadam, it purifies your consciousness. And it's like taking that small step towards Krishna, that because you have taken Krishna Prasadam, because it purifies your consciousness, you will take the next step towards Krishna consciousness. And in fact, so for the people who are in the journey of Krishna consciousness, as we keep engaging in our devotional service, Mahaprasadam, having this Mahaprasadam, having the remnants of Krishna Prasadam is so important, because this is something which purifies your consciousness. And for people like for Janmashtami also, maybe people may not understand for the Janmashtami, they may just come for a celebration because everybody's in different level of consciousness. But even if somebody do not understand the philosophy or understand any of the Leelas of Krishna, even if they take the prasadam of Krishna, that's like taking the first step towards Krishna consciousness. Yajna sistasina santo muchante sarva kilbishai bunjate agam papa ye pachante atmakaranat. Krishna says the one who's offering to Krishna and eating that prasadam, those people who are offering, the devotees who are offering food to Krishna and enjoying that as Krishna prasadam, they will be released from all kind of karmic reactions because it has been offered to Krishna. But those who are eating their food only for personal sense enjoyment, they're only eating sin. So here, because they're eating a prasadam which has been first offered to Krishna, they'll be released from this, because anything that's holding yourself from Krishna consciousness is because our own karmic, our karma, our samskaras and all that. But by having this by Krishna prasadam, it's purifying our consciousness and it's getting the blessings of Krishna, which will help us to progress more towards Krishna consciousness, Prabhuji.
Yeah, yes, I liked it when you and you just said it that if we cook and eat for our own sense gratification, we will be there eating only sin. But if we accept only prasad as food, we will purify our consciousness. So as to be expected, Prabhu, a very clarifying and beautiful answer to my question. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So if there are no further questions, just being respectful for everybody's time. It's so beautiful that all of you are joined together. So my humble obeisances once again for taking a precious time out on a Thursday and to listen to Krishna Katha. So we have one more week before the the Krishna Janmashtami. So maybe we can just reflect on the pastimes of Krishna's appearance next week. And also just to let everybody know, there's going to be a Krishna class by Gaurangadas Prabhuji, which is happening in Manor. And it is happening, Amaga Prabhuji, it is happening literally in the Haveli Hall. There was somebody had called me today, and it's going to happen. It is by the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam by Gauranga Darshan Das. He's well known, and in this particular class of Bhagavatam will be given in Telugu, our native language, our mother tongue. And I will be there, and I'll be doing the kirtan also at 1:45. It starts on Sunday, which happens to be the 3rd of August, which is in this Sunday, just to let everybody know if they're coming to Manor. And also just to let you know that maybe after Janmashtami, I could be away for a few weeks, but we will discuss that, Amaga Prabhuji, about this thing. So yeah, I want to just thank everyone for giving your precious time. So we will meet again next Thursday. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Can we all do the loud Haribol to Shyam Prabhuji, please?
Haribo.
Haribo. Haribo. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila
Thank you so much,
Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. We'll see again devotees next Thursday. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.